Even when the odds are stacked against you, son, where there's a will, there's a way. These are the words that kept our next guest going. Welcome to Faces of Scotia. Hi, Marvin.
Hello, Delia. Thanks for having me.
First, we're going to start by letting our audience know who you are.
All right, so I'm Marvin Edmondson. I'm a personal banking officer at Scotiabank.
And I understand you grew up in the rural community of Whitehall in St. Thomas. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, I was born in Whitehall, St. Thomas. I moved to Kingston when I was 2 years old, but occasionally on summers and Christmas holidays, that's when I would go back to Whitehall. And
So you still have a little rural boy in you.
yes, and even to this day, every weekend or so when I want to get away, that's where I go back.
That's where you go. So tell me a little bit then about what it was like growing up. First, tell me about your family.
I grew up with my mother and my older brother in a one-bedroom in Kingston 16, known as Dunkirk. On summers, when we go to Whitehall, I would have a quite large extended family there. So I'm there with my father, my grandmother, and plenty of cousins. So most of my cousins were my friends at that time.
Your mom means a lot to you. So tell me a little about your mom.
Yes, she's my rock, my hard place. And she's a very resilient woman, knows how to make ends meet. And growing up, seeing her do some of the things she do, when I look back now as an adult, I wonder how she did it, because she put me through college just by selling juice in the downtown market.
Wow.
During the day, and she would throw her partner plan, and that's how she would pay my school fee.
Yeah. A determined woman.
Very determined, and she was big on education. She always speak to me and my older brother about reading and the importance of reading, because that's how she said that you would make sense of this life.
Yeah.
So whenever we go out, she said, whenever we're at the bus stop, whenever anybody give you anything, the first thing you should do is read it, because that's how you'd understand and that's how you'd know how to approach things.
Wow. Very wise words from your mom.
Yes.
How important is that? Because, knowing that you have a parent who believes in you,
Yes.
a parent who is there to drive you, that must have made a difference to you as a young man, and just where your path took you in life.
Yes, she's the one that kept me going.
Yeah.
Because she didn't have the necessary resources that could give us a full life. And she always gave us examples of how she grew up and some of the things that she wanted to achieve, but she couldn't because she dropped out of high school because of financial reasons. But she didn't let that stop her from allowing us to achieve our dreams.
Wow. A woman with a dream for her
Yes,
children.
yes.
And boy, did she achieve it. Why did she say these words to you? Even when the odds are stacked against you, son, where there's a will, there's a way. Did something specifically happen when she said this?
Yes, it was necessary. After leaving high school with my CXC subjects, I didn't know where to turn. I didn't know what I was going to do. I know where I wanted to go, but I didn't know how I would get there. And her words, she asked me about my ambitions, and I told her that I wanted to become a banker, and I had researched the path to go in there. And the first step was to get a college education. And I didn't know where the finances would come from. I didn't have anyone in my family that would be able to stand even a guarantor at the Student Loan Bureau. So for me, that was like, oh my God, what am I going to do now? And she said, that's what you want to do? And I said, yes. And she said, all right, we'll make it happen.
Wow.
And that's when she sold juices in the downtown market, and she paid my school fee. And in seeing that, I know that I could not waste that opportunity, because she worked so hard and to ensure that I'm able to achieve what I wanted to achieve. I had to remain focused at that time. So whenever I feel down and I feel like I can't go on anymore, those words just kept ringing in my head. So
Listen, she not only said the words, she lived the words.
Yes.
Because she had the will for you to go to school, and she found a way.
Yes.
Yeah. So now you're saying you wanted to be a banker, but before you wanted to be a banker, that's not what you started out with in life.
No. As children, we all wanted the type of cliche careers: lawyer, doctor, pilot, stuff like that. So I wanted to be a pilot, but there was no conviction in it.
Okay.
And my conviction came when I was in 9th grade at Excelsior High School. when you're in the ninth grade, the next step after that is to choosing your CXE subject. So they held a career day, and they had many persons from different careers came in, and they gave us a speech. And the one that stood out to me was a Scotiabanker. I
Wow.
don't remember his face. I don't remember his name,
Do you
but
remember what he said?
I don't remember what he said, but he said it with such passion and conviction in his voice, and the confidence that was exuding from him. I felt it. There was a connection there, and I said, my God, that's what I wanted to be.
Wow.
And then that's when I started to research and decided that that's where I'm going to be.
Can you imagine that? And not just want to be a banker, but you make up your mind you're going to
Say
be
a
a Scotia banker.
yes.
All right, all right. So walk me through when you started your journey, because now Mama said, look, you're going to this, son. You completed the studies. What was in your mind? What was the next step for you? No, you say yes, make a work at the bank.
Well, after finishing college and I started to pen cover letters and resumes.
Yes.
There was a job fair also at UTech where Scotiabank was a participant, and I'd submitted my application. And throughout the summer, I didn't get any call back.
Whoa.
Up until Diane Newman from Scotiabank called me and said, Marvin, what are you doing? And I said, I don't find anything yet. And she said, how would you like an internship? It's not much, but it could keep
It's
you
a
occupied.
start.
It's a start. So I went to Scotia Investments. At the time, it was Scotia DBNG. And all I did there was stand over a photocopy machine and just scanning, because they were transforming from the physical files to digital. And I did that for 6 weeks, and I did it with passion. And, after
So that's what I was going to add, because you apply and then you get a call and then you turn up and then they say, okay, Marvin, but this is what you're going to do. It doesn't sound like you were disappointed, though. It sounds like you
No,
were just
because
happy to be there.
yes, I was happy to be there because I got a foot in, and I know that once I applied myself, then it's only up from there.
Yeah.
And after the internship ended, she called again and said, I have another position opening. It's not much again, but this one is might be a bit more permanent. So I started doing check filing. I was on contract for 1 year, so for 1 year I was just filing away checks, and at the time, I had a supervisor that said to me that, Marvin, you can go very far in this organization if you work hard and you apply yourself. And so I started to tell her of my ambitions. And she made some arrangements so that I could get cross-training at a branch, because she said the back office, it's a bit restrictive, and she see the potential in me, so she believed that I would do very well on the front line. So, yeah.
Wow. I'm listening. I'm like, wow, Scotiabank. To give an opportunity to a young man and say, listen, all right, it's a small opening, but we're giving you a foot in. And then a foot come and you say, put in the other one. It speaks a lot to the culture of the bank.
Yes, that's one of the things I appreciate most about Scotiabank is that we have very passionate team leaders that they can see the potential in someone and they know how to pull it out. I was a very reserved person. I was shy. I didn't think that I could become a sales officer, because being a sales officer, you need an outgoing personality. You need to know how to interact with persons. So when she said that to me, I still didn't understand or have a clue that, I could do this. But she saw the potential and she, plot down step by step how I could get there. And, I just took it from there.
Yeah. So I'm hearing the culture of the bank in terms of providing opportunities, that opportunities are there, but also to grow. What was your growth path? So you went into the sales aspect of it. Training, what was all of that like?
It was very exciting. I was always passionate about learning. I'm a
Yes.
fast learner, and I always like to learn other desks. And once a supervisor see that in you, then they'll give you the opportunity. So from time to time, I would get opportunity to lead a team. I get the opportunity to cross-train in various departments. I've been trained in business banking, operations, and sales.
Wow.
And based on where my strong suits were, my former manager at the time, my mentor, decided that, this is the path that we're gonna, because this path can take you so far, and it offers a variety of experience. So it's not a repetitive task. Every day is a new experience. You meet different clients from different backgrounds, and you get to solve a lot of complex problems, and I
Yeah.
appreciated that. Yeah.
Yeah. You've been through some tough times, though, Marvin.
Yes, a
It's not
lot.
all been easy.
No, it's
And I
not.
want to talk about those tough times
Yeah.
and those moments when you probably thought, oh, why me? I wanted to share that with our audience. Tell me some of the toughest things that have happened.
Months before CXC, our home, a one-bedroom home, it was burned down due to gang violence. And at that moment, my family, we split up. I spent the following months with a guy my mom was dating in the past, and my brother, he had finished high school and he started working, and my mom went back to the country. So my family was split up at that time. And I believe everything happens for a reason, because in that community, I was, a bit nonchalant. I know that I was very smart, so I could do well without trying. But, when those things started to face me, I realized that, I need to refocus. I need to get where I need to get. And, in the afternoons, I would now start preparing for my CXCs and, knowing that they're just a few months away. I eventually, got my CXCs and moved on to college from there.
Yeah, that takes a lot of focus from a young person, because to lose a home
Yes.
and have the family separated, I don't know how many would be so strong enough to say, oh, let me stick to the schoolwork. Let me get it done. What do you think it was in you that helped you to keep that focus and to be so successful at the CXC?
Again, it's my mom, because I've never seen her giving up on anything. She's always trying. She has tried on several businesses, tried to get several skills, and she's always doing something. If she could put her pride or everything aside and decide she's going to sell juice in downtown market to ensure that I achieved higher education, then I had no excuse. I couldn't let her down that way.
Yeah. Marvin, there are a lot of young men in Jamaica who go through a lot of what you've been through. There are a lot of them who feel like they're undone. Where is there a light for me? Where is there hope for me? A lot of them have the parents who are struggling to put
Yes.
them through. What are your words of motivation to them?
I would give them the same words my mom gave me. Even when the odds are stacked against you, where there's a will, there's a way. You don't need to know the how, you just need to know the why, and you have that purpose and that conviction that that's what you want to achieve. And once you have convinced yourself of that, then I don't think anything can stop you. So even when you yourself you find yourself slacking off, there's that thing inside it that keeps nudging you and say, hey, you need to get back on track. You need to get back on track. So
Yeah. I know one person who is absolutely proud of you must be a mom.
yes,
She must have been watching this growth and saying to herself,
Yes, she
yes,
is.
my boy, go on through. Well, along with mommy, I know there must be other people who were instrumental in your
Definitely,
life.
definitely.
And there were some pivotal moments that people stepped in and said, oh, come, Marvin, come. Who are some of those people?
Yes, so I hope I don't forget anyone, but
Yeah.
for the pivotal moments, Delroy Walker, that's the guy my mom was dating previously. So he stepped in and said, yeah, man, let him come and stay with me. And throughout Scotiabank, several supervisors, there's Carl Atta, Peter Gordon, Nikisha Ebanks, my former manager, Rosemary Edwards. So, those persons, they played a pivotal role because, as I say, once they see the potential in you, and I think at Scotiabank, what they truly believe in is your attitude determines how far you can go, because everything else can be trained.
Yes.
Because you're coming out of university, you have a degree, you're trainable. So what they want to see is that you have the right attitude towards what you're doing.
All right, listen. There is someone who I think they admire you so much for all that you have achieved and just how much your life has been motivation to them. So I want you to take a look at the screen and pay attention to this.
Marvin, good boy, good man, good friend. He doesn't even know how he has inspired me. Down days, I don't have any. He's an inspiration to a lot of persons. Marvin, keep up the good work, because I can tell you, when you speak, when you help, a lot of persons appreciate your assistance. And I can tell you, brother, for the amount of years that I know you, which is over 6 years, I can tell you, don't stop doing what you're doing. Don't stop any at all. If I can count all the persons that you have helped, it's more than $1 million. It's more than what you think. Continue doing what you're doing, because I can tell you, brother, you have it. You have it. You always make people be conscious with themselves. You give great advice. And I must say, I can easily call you a friend. Big up, brother. Have a good one.
Marvin, having seen that, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I really appreciate it, and I've met some great friends at Scotiabank, and that's also one thing I've learned in the organization, to always extend a hand and help wherever you can, because you never know. Most of the times when I'm asked to help out, those situations, I can add to my resume, because I've never turned down a task, no matter how difficult it is. Even if I don't know how to do it, I'll say yes, and I'll figure out how to do it after. And, a lot of persons look up to me as, a leader and stuff like that. So they will always come to me for advice, whether it be life, career, and even on the job. So, it's a great place to work. A lot of great persons have been around, and they've assisted in making this journey worthwhile. I can say that much.
Marvin, sometimes, I talk to young people and they want success, but they want it immediately. And so if their dream is, listen, I'm going to be the branch manager for the bank. They think, I'm going to apply to them, be the branch manager. What are your words to them? What is your key to success?
I would say the success is not a destination. It's not in the position. So yes, you may want to be a branch manager, but the journey itself that takes you there, there's also success stories in it. And so for me, being a sales officer right now, it's not the end. There's definitely more to come, and you can stay tuned for that one.
But, well, listen, we really intend to stay tuned, Marvin. What a history and what a journey. We want to thank Marvin for sharing his powerful story. Behind the brand are people like you and I, people with determination, with passion, with vision, and people like Marvin with growth. Thank you for watching Faces of Scotia.